What if I told you there's a chess opening so dangerous? It can turn your opponent's confidence into complete chaos within just a few moves. Welcome to the world of the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit, the ultimate attacking weapon for white. Today, we uncover mind-blowing traps and hidden tricks that can help you crush unsuspecting players and win games in style. Trap 1, Ruthless Precision. Our first trap is so lethal. One wrong step can end the game before your opponent even knows what happened. We begin with bold intent, pawn to d4 claiming the center. Black responds with their pawn to d5, and now the fireworks start. We strike with pawn to e4, offering a daring sacrifice. Black accepts, taking on e4. Our knight leaps to c3, pressuring the heart of their position. Black develops knight to f6. We push forward, pawn to f3, tempting them deeper into our trap. They take again, and now our queen storms out to f3, locking eyes on the vulnerable king. Black greedily snatches our pawn on d4, but that's exactly what we wanted. Our bishop soars to e3, setting a deadly pin. They retreat the queen to b4, trying to escape. We castle long, the calm before the storm. Black develops bishop to g4, unaware of the abyss below. Our knight jumps to b5, slicing into their defenses. If they try to sidestep with knight to a6 or queen to a5, they're instantly checkmated. And if they capture, we strike with knight to c7, checkmate. The game ends with ruthless precision. This is the brutal beauty of the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit. One sacrifice, one plan, and one unstoppable checkmate. Trap 2, from sacrifice to queen. Imagine sacrificing a pawn, only to rise back with unstoppable force and crown a new queen in record time. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4. Black takes e4. Our knight leaps to c3, gaining speed. Black develops their knight to c6. We push pawn to d5, forcing their knight back to e5. Our queen slides to d4, controlling the center. Black retreats further with knight to g6. The trap begins to unfold. We place bishop to b5, delivering check. Black blocks with pawn to c6. We capture with pawn takes on c6. Their queen rushes out to d4, but we exchange queens without hesitation. And then, the finale. Our pawn captures rook on a8 and transforms into a queen. From sacrifice to domination, the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit leaves Black crushed under the weight of our precision. This is not just an opening. It's a weapon. The Blackmar-Diemer Gambit. Fearless, deadly, unforgettable. Trap 3, the overconfident knight. Our next trap is a common yet very effective tactic. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4. Instead of capturing, Black develops knight to f6. Now we push even harder. Pawn to e5, chasing their knight. It jumps boldly into the center, landing on e4. And here comes the turning point. We push pawn to f3, kicking the knight and tightening the noose. Black's overconfident piece is suddenly under fire. What seemed like active play becomes a looming disaster. The trap is set and the attack is ready to explode. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4. Our knight leaps to c3, developing with precision. Black brings out knight to f6. We push forward with pawn to f3, challenging their control. Black takes, and we recapture with knight to f3. Bishop to f4, aiming at weak squares and building pressure. Black captures our bishop with bishop to f3. We respond swiftly, queen to f3, reclaiming control and threatening their position. Black greedily snatches a pawn with queen to d4, but the trap is set. We strike decisively, queen to b7, checking. Black captures our queen with queen to f4, but the finish is near. With precise timing, we glide queen to c8, checkmate. A single gambit, a perfect trap, and total domination. Trap 5, stunning 6-move victory. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4. Knight leaps to c3. Black pushes pawn to c5, trying to stabilize. We bring our bishop to c4, aiming straight at their weak square. Black greedily snatches another pawn with queen to d4. But the trap is set. With a swift and precise knight move to d5, we threaten everything: their queen, their position, their hopes. Black captures again, taking our bishop with queen to c4, and that's the moment we've been waiting for. We strike with knight to c7. Checkmate. The game ends in stunning style, all because of one bold gambit and perfect calculation. This is the deadly beauty of the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit: a single sacrifice, a clever plan, and total domination. Trap 6, absolute domination. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4, knight to c3. Black brings out knight to f6. We push forward with pawn to f3, challenging their central control. Black responds with pawn to c5. Our bishop glides to f4, pressuring their position. Black pushes pawn to d4. We jump knight to b5, threatening chaos. Black plays knight to d5. With precision, we capture with bishop to b8, seizing a key square. Black responds knight to e3. We spring the trap, knight to c7, delivering check. If black captures with queen to c7, the game spirals into total collapse. We follow with bishop to c7 and then rook to d1, leaving black unable to defend. Every move strikes with clarity, turning a daring sacrifice into absolute domination. This is the true power of the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit: fearless, aggressive, and devastatingly precise. Trap 7, 13-move checkmate. We have pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e4, knight to c3, knight to f6. We push forward with pawn to f3, challenging their central control. Black captures with xf3, and we recapture with knight to f3. Bishop to c4, eyes fixed on their weak squares. Black develops knight to d7. Our knight jumps to g5, threatening chaos. Black responds with knight to d5. We sacrifice boldly. Knight captures on d5. Black recaptures, but our knight strikes again. Knight to f7, tearing into their king's safety. Black captures with king to f7. Queen to h5, checking. Black blocks with pawn to g6. We advance queen to d5. Black plays pawn to e6. Queen captures on e6, a devastating check. King flees to g7. And finally, queen to f7, checkmate. The Blackmar-Diemer Gambit, where daring sacrifices and sharp tactics turn every game into a masterpiece of attack. These were some of the most powerful Blackmar-Diemer Gambit traps every chess player should know. If you want more deadly opening tricks and tactical secrets, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to sharpen your game. Share this video with your chess friends. And remember, with MyChessPal, you're always one move ahead.